Oh, shit, we ain't playing one song and no one knew how to play it for the end of the movie.
I want to thank everybody for coming out to the 3rd annual BEWA Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah!
As you all know, the Federation is tearing through its 6th year of existence.
6 years.
Like 160 shows, I think it's where we're at, something like that. And tomorrow will be Legacy 6. Well, tomorrow's about the future, tonight's about the past. We're going to honor 5 gentlemen that have done a lot in the BEWA and wrestling in general. 3 of them could not be here this evening. They live elsewhere now. But let's get this started right away. The first inductee is, Kid Taylor is the first person to be nominated and inducted this evening. You all know Kid, winner of the first Eclipse match, former U.S. champ, tag champs, done just about everything in the Fed. And inducting him this evening and accepting on his behalf is his greatest rival, Rollin' Havoc.
Well, first off, as Chris just said, he couldn't be here tonight. It sucks in a way because it would have been awesome if he was standing here. As many of you know, the Kid and myself actually predate BEWA. Actually, right up the hill up there by Harrison Park, we have a lot of history. Actually, the first main event ever for the BWA show, right on that hill, me and the Kid. The Kid could work anybody. It didn't matter if he never met you before. As a matter of fact, somebody I'm inducting later had his actual debut match against the Kid. Never met one another, but that match turned out pretty good. I mean, you know, he didn't have to know you. He just needed 10 seconds. What do you want to do? Boom, there it was. He just had that mentality. And, you know, a Fed can't be built on its own. He was one gentleman that aided in building what we are today. So, you know, he's going where he belongs, pretty much. First Eclipse winner, you know, Kid Taylor, you know what I mean? Hall of Fame, forever.
Good job, man.
Biggest magic promo I've ever heard.
Hey everybody, I'm just waiting to join you here for Hall of Fame ceremony here. Who's next?
Up next is Austin Extreme. Austin's somebody who came up from DCW, came up from DC, about the same time as Matt Armada. In the middle of year 3, Austin Extreme became a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. He came close to winning the Golden Rights match, just couldn't do it.
I saw that. Why did he do it?
He'll be remembered for that, the formation of Team POS, and of course his best of 7 with Eric Spade. But
I like me some best of 7.
Austin Extreme thought it was a good idea to move to Arizona. Apparently, he doesn't think there's Priuses there. So, inducting him and accepting on his behalf is fellow former POS member Ryan Stevens.
That's a whole lot of man right there. That's all I got to say about that. What's up, man? Look at that.
Well, this is my 3rd year for inducting somebody into the Hall of Fame.
You get a
job, man.
And this has to be the worst of the bunch. I mean, we do have Aquaman in the Hall of Fame.
Aquaman is such a jobber.
I mean, but for real, he has been a 2-time champion. The best of 7 was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you. That match 7 was off the hook.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I fondle myself while watching that match.
The induction, the whole formation of Team POS, that was so much fun. Just hanging out with him, that was fun. Sucks he moved to Arizona, so he can't accept it. But I will accept it on his behalf, because, you know.
Because Chris Bomber just said
you're awesome.
Thank you. I agree.
Chris Bomber just said you were going to do it.
But congratulations to Austin Extreme. He should be here right now, but you know, stuff, life happens, and Team POS is gonna live forever.
Oh my God. Some heartfelt words there by Ryan Stevens.
Speaking of team piece of shit, our third inductee this evening,
I got a shit.
Viceroy Versatile, Jay Slash.
Yeah.
I remember when I still lived in Dundalk, Spider came over right before Legacy, and he had this little kid with him, little child, with a big head. And this kid told me he wanted to wrestle. Well, you all know me. I'm like, if you can do it safely, then feel free. So they wrestled the first match ever in Chaos history, Spider versus Jay Slash in a hardcore rules type match, and Jay Slash was incredible. Most of you in this room probably have worked with him at some point, and
I wish you would work with my
just knowing how
balls.
fun he was to work with. He would do anything. He had some classics with Jason G that I always think of, and his feud with Damien Fatale as well. Damien Fatale was who Jay Slash wanted to induct him, but Superfilm doesn't appear to be here this evening, so I'll accept it, which means I'll send him a Facebook message and tell him that he's in the Hall of Fame. He probably already knows that, but Jay Slash was one of the guys that made doing this fun. You could tell he loved this shit, as most of you do. And I think he's missed.
I love
he had
orgies.
more to give, and some of the younger guys, or newer guys, would have had some good shit with him. So that's the third guy, Jay Slash. Now it's gonna get a whole lot better because the remaining two people are actually here.
In person.
How'd that happen?
And we got a 30-minute limit on the speeches, man. It could take an all goddamn night.
Yeah, nobody Mr. T us with the mom.
Damn it.
What are you talking about? Don't you mean leaving?
Jason G. Everybody look at his forearm right now.
Let me get that, man. Oh man, there it is. The goddamn tattoo won't focus, but I assure you that says BEWA on it.
Jason G. I met him back when we were still doing MUW, and I put him in a match against, like Havoc was talking about earlier, against Kid Taylor. They're both getting inducted this evening. It's crazy to think. And in Jason G, I mean, a lot of these original guys like Jason, Havoc, just go down the line that have been there all, the course of BWA history. Jason G was one of the most consistent. He was a guy you could put, and I did, put in any kind of storyline without notice. If it was like to put heat on the XMW championship, or a US title run here, or taking over the company there, Jason was the guy. I could plug him in just about any situation. And for a big guy, he was very, very underrated.
Yes.
Just ask the ring pole.
Yes.
And it seemed like whenever Jason had success, I mean, by the time he locked up, he was already turning purple. But I decided, he's finally going to win a Brawl for All. Well, let's put him at #1 to see if he can go through an hour-long match. And he surely did. Jason G is one of my favorites, obviously. I'm not crazy enough to get a BWA tattoo, but maybe he cares about it more than I do.
I care about it. I care about it.
So Jason G didn't hesitate when I asked him who he wanted to induct him this evening. And for the second time tonight, Mr. Roland Havoc.
Man, I'm writing my congressman because I feel like I should be the one inducting him.
Just inducted everyone.
Should have been swing. Should have been
Swang, I agree.
I'm here, Jason.
As you all know, Jason G is here, and I will honestly say this motherfucker.
Why's it gotta be a motherfucker, man?
I love working every match we ever had, and on a consistent basis, I worked you once a year. I think that was the record. Between the Triad, my favorite one, the clock, the first clock winner.
That's
You
true.
remember that?
It's my time.
That was one of my favorite matches. Was he and I for his clock. It was. Just watch it. It was awesome.
You still got that clock? We need that for tomorrow.
Jason, you understand everything. You're in the ring nobody has to tell you how or what. You're like, fuck you, man, I know what I'm doing. Boom! And it was fucking perfect. You know what I mean? You are one of the originals from my class. It's an honor to even put you here. Again, 2 of my guys from my class tonight. You know, you helped.
Good job, man.
You helped, you know, Reaper, lurking around here, build it. You know, so it is with great honor give you Jason G, 2014 Hall of Fame.
There he is. There's the man himself. Oh my God, man hug here. Oh my God.
Wow.
He's purple.
6 years, man.
He's purple already.
6 years. It's the longest I've ever done anything.
That's slow, Brett.
Yeah, well, I mean, I gotta say that it's been not just fun, but it's been an honor to meet like all of you. Because over these years, since the beginning, we have been a family.
Not you, Will.
It's something I always needed. Something I always loved about it. Because not only was I able to come and do something that I love, but I could do it with people that I love. I mean, I've wrestled just about everybody, and I can't say, except for maybe 1 or 2 people, I haven't had a great, fun match with anybody. Everybody's been awesome. I've had great ones with Havoc. I've had matches with Ray. I've had matches with Ruin. I mean, everybody. And my one regret is, of course, not having a match with the last guy getting inducted tonight, Jacob Practice.
It's not too late.
Someday, somehow, I'm gonna convince him. So I just wanted to say thank you all for inducting me. Thank you all for honoring me. And I love you guys.
I was just clapping with my one hand.
Clap with your hand, huh?
I'm zooming in and out on your face. It's fun. I'm having fun right now.
I don't know what to say about the last guy. I'm lucky I don't have to personally induct him.
As light as Jason G.
What the fuck can you say about Jacob Practice? More than anybody else, he can make a show better just by being there. Not even in character, just being there. Just reacting to what's going on in the ring. His presence. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. You want to talk about somebody who is trained, so many of the wrestlers that have come up. You want to talk about somebody that owned Best Technical for every year that he was active all the way through.
He should have won it when DJ won it.
You want to talk about his feuds with Samuel Masters, Roland Havoc, Ray Black. You want to talk about his match at Vicious Valentine 2 on his birthday with Jason G and Spider?
Oh, wow.
We broke the ring. We broke the ring. Broke the ring, and Daddy was like, "Keep going." Got my belt on. Wrestling Ray Black in the main event of Legacy 2, which I haven't done in a while, but might still be my favorite show of all time. Of course, the wars, like I mentioned, with Samuel Masters for both Intercontinental and the World Heavyweight title. But Jacob, obviously, is one of the most gifted individuals to ever be amongst our ranks. And the fact that he hasn't taken his wrestling career further, that's the business's loss, not his. To induct Jacob Practice into our very, very humble Hall of Fame, he is also a year 1 guy in the BEWA, a guy that goes both backyard and now professional by many names, but we know him simply as Stephen Blanchard.
Here you go.
What's going on, everybody? BEWA
What's up, man?
Hall of Fame ceremony.
Looking good, man. I gotta poop.
A lot of y'all know Jacob as Jacob Mayberry. But a lot of y'all don't know that Jacob was also born half man, half woman at one point. His name was Joe Quetta. And so our parents flipped the coin to see to raise him as a boy, but he still had that hint of a vagina. He just got asked his girlfriend to kiss. She really God damn!
What the fuck?
There's so many things you can say about Jacob Practice. You can call him Jacob Rakim Allah Shabazz Practice.
Finally! Hold on, it was longer than that earlier.
Yeah, I remember that name. You can call him the 4-time Technical Wrestler of the Year. You can call him my brother, my best friend. And not only that, one of my greatest students I ever had, who ever wanted to learn anything from me, who would call me in the middle of the night when I'm doing something.
He ain't doing nothing.
Hey, PG, okay? PG counter. But everybody here knows Jacob Mayberry, Jacob Practice, for one thing, being probably one of the most dedicated guys next to Jason G on the BEWA roster. There isn't anybody here who hasn't learned from Jacob or wrestled Jacob that learned something and took their style a little bit further. So, inducting him tonight, the Mr. Suplex King.
It's only because he's your brother.
And I'll say it again until somebody else takes this title from him. The 4-time Technical Wrestler of the Year. And the guy who retired me and always will be one of my best opponents, and my brother, Jacob Practice.
Look at them hugging. Look at them hugging and kissing each other, man.
A lot of y'all niggas kept it short. I'm a poetry ass nigga. I don't do shit like that.
Time.
Damn.
Jordan, that was beautiful. I can't believe you started with that joke, yo. Jordan misses a nipple.
Man, I gotta take a big ass dump,
All
man.
his girlfriends call his chest one-eyed Willie.
Put that shit away.
Keep that shit tucked in there. The only nigga I know got a pirate titty. First, fuck me, help me. I like to start by talking about some things about the other inductees. Kid, because I want to share memories, because this is fucking memories. And that, because we mentioned Passage Park earlier. I'm taking the fucking time. We mentioned Passage Park earlier. I remember the first time we went up to Passage Park, I was talking to Kid's brothers. I told them I'm a bigger Biggie fan and Tupac fan. Them motherfuckers wanted to jump me and shit. Like, I mean, Rob Scott was like, damn, nigga. He was like, so you don't fuck with Tupac? I'm like, damn, it's your kid's brother. That's when I realized Kid was from a class of niggas that I had never met yet. So that started the longest running joke.
Where you are?
The longest running joke between me and Kid ever. Like, he'll see me at the show, ain't you a white man? I was like, ain't you a nigga? What the fuck you ain't in jail for? And then when Kid would get arrested, I felt really bad about that fucking joke. I was like, oh shit, yo, I ain't mean to predict the future, yo. That's a nigga. Austin Extreme. That's a weird motherfucker.
Baby,
but I was refereeing his first match in BEWA between him and Matt Armada, and Matt Armada like hit the fuck out of him. He's leaking out his nose, and I was like, somebody give me a shirt to wipe this shit off, and I was like, oh, hold on, I'm wiping off his shirt. I'm wiping off his nose and shit. I'm like, yo, this is your shirt, yo. I'm wiping off your nose with it. He's like, fuck it, man, that's cool. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I just told you I'm wiping blood with your stupid fucking shirt. But like, I got to know him, and he's a really fucking cool guy. A picture you can still find on my Facebook today is a picture of him, his world title, and the baby carries, like, in the stroller. These motherfuckers took the baby out, put the title in. I'm like, oh shit, yo, you a beautiful fucking mark, nigga. Children, nigga, I got a title. Fuck this nigga. So that was real to me.
Is that a baby?
Baby. J Slash. Oh, that's my motherfucking man. I wish that motherfucker was here right now. I'd be hugging the shit out of him.
We suplexed him.
I remember a match with me, him, and Ryan Stevens.
Yes.
Before the match, I hit up Ryan Stevens. Motherfucker was in class. I didn't know Ryan Stevens went to school. Like, I thought all that nigga did was suplex. And he was like, I'm in class. I'm like, the fuck, nigga, you don't read? And turns out he's a very educated white person. I call him, I'm like, yeah, yo, I was thinking we suplexed that nigga back and forth and shit like we were trying to have a competition. He's like, alright, man, cool. Because he just fucking seems to be down with everything that involves hurting somebody. So, we get to the show, we was like, alright, we gonna go talk to J Sash, he gonna be down with it. J Sash like, hey, I got this idea, how about you two suplex the shit out of me? I was like, what? Funny you should fucking mention that. Which made for one of my favorite spots in like my whole fucking wrestling career. And then, there's another memory. Certain motherfucker in this room was a part of that memory. I ain't gonna say no names, pointing no motherfuckers' fingers. Some dumbass niggas wanted to go for some stupid ass move off a top rope and shit. Him and some man midget. My baby. So like, you know, I don't break character, you nigga. I'm all wrestling all the time, character. Jacob practice from beginning to end of the show. Unless I'm out back, then I'm just fucking around with Damien, just saying some gay shit to him. Like, so these niggas, they go to lift his ass and they start leaning over the fucking rope. I got my baby! I got J Slash! I took off the leather jacket and shit. I almost got in the ring. Chris Barber's laughing and shit. I'm like, oh, I'm about to pop nigga show. They're gonna hurt my mans. Like, plus, yo, like, I chilled with this nigga, like, outside of fucking wrestling for like a couple times. Yo, this white boy lives a serious fucking life. Like, I went to his house, yo, his sister mean as shit, yo. So I was like, how you doing? She's like, I don't fucking know you. I'm like, God damn! He's like, hey man, that's how the fuck she is, man. Fuck it. And I was like, this is. He changed my whole definition of redneck. Plus, I saw him come off the top rope once and like dragging Rana Jason G. And for me, I'm just like, you made Jason G flip. Like that was fucking incredible. Yes. And like, so from the moment I saw that nigga, I miss him. I wish he was here. Jason G. There's not enough I can say about this man, so I won't say anything. So now, nah, like this motherfucker. When I first saw him, he was coming out in the khakis all the fucking time. It was really fucking annoying me and shit. And then like I decided to become friends with him because one of my tag partners at the time, Ronald Scott, like ass landed him, like just jumped on his chest ass first. I was like, oh, this is probably the worst time in the fucking world to be enemies with this guy. So as I got to know him, I realized what a funny motherfucker he was. And then he introduced me to Flatline. You sick son of a bitch. I grew to respect his wrestling like a motherfucker. I got to work that triple threat match with him at Vicious Valentine. And it was a hell of a match.
That was a spider shake right there.
No. That's the spider. No, the spider shake is like this.
Continue. Don't go on.
Damn.
Shit. We're all going to hell.
Damn.
Already there. We joined BEWA.
I'm sorry. I saw the opening. I took it. But no.
That's called rape.
So Jason G is like next to Roller Havoc, one of those guys in the company. I was just like, this is what BEWA means. He has the dedication. He put in a lot of time, and I'm very proud and inspired to be inducted with him as well as the others. Now, a little about myself. I was born a white male.
Not what your brother said.
Shut the fuck up. Left on the steps. I love you too, Dad. Left on the steps of impoverished niggas. Those niggas was named Mayberry. They took care of me good, but no. No, I was a wrestling fan since I was a kid, and Goldberg was my nigga, cause I didn't know what the fuck wrestling was. And like I think back to them dumbass arguments, I'm like, no, Jordan, no, Goldberg. Fuck you, like Chris Benoit? That's stupid. Chris Benoit can't wrestle. The fuck? Dean Malenko? He sucks. He's not Hogan. So I think about that shit now. I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, if I could go back in time, I'd slap that little nigga. Like, considering I done watch more Demon Legal videos. Like, I'm still daring my cousin Ray to buy the Goldberg DVD. That nigga refuses, yo. Some things people don't know about me. I had a crazy childhood. Me and Jordan fought a lot. When we got older, he started locking submissions. I ain't know why. He was yard wrestling secretly behind my back. Like, that shit was fucking weird. I was throwing myself headfirst into concrete elementary school walls, and people thought it was not normal. But I was preparing myself for the bumps. I now know that. That and I had ADD, and no one diagnosed me. My parents are fucked up like that. So when I was 16. I was having a conversation with him one night, like the first night I watched Red Dawn, like fucking Patrick Swayze owns ass in that movie. And he told me about a friend of his who can backflip off a fucking ladder, and I'm just like, hey, we're talking about wrestling. What the fuck you mean you know someone who backflips off a ladder and shit like that? Which is when Jordan told me he had been with my cousin Ray, and they had been backyard wrestling, which was the most ridiculous shit I had ever heard in my time. I had never seen backyard wrestling before. The idea was fucking retarded to me, so naturally I wanted to join. I was like, damn. He was like, so you ain't gonna tell mine? I said, nah, nigga, why the fuck you ain't been tell me? So I had this stupid fucking character. Like, I basically... So I based my character off a character I created in the video game with Black Tommy Dreamer. Yes. Shut up, bitch. I mean, some disrespectful motherfuckers to be quiet. There's some niggas in the crowd who know too much. This is probably the most rated R motherfucking speech induction ever, but fuck it. I called myself Batter, as in like battered, bruised, and beat. Niggas was like, batter? Like baseball? So niggas was saying batter up when I would come out. It was the most embarrassing shit ever. And Lionel Pittman, who now know as Kindred and shit like that. He taught me a lot of things about wrestling. I'm happy about the things he taught me. I mean, he taught me a job. And like it, and I did for a very long time. So I do appreciate those lessons though, because they help build me. But what Lionel taught me more important than anything is that like you need a character. So the character I really aimed for at first was Caesar, Emperor of Hardcore. Like, shut up, bitch. Ray spelled it wrong, not me. He the nigga who spelled Caesar with a C-E instead of a C-A. That was you, nigga, not me. I know how to spell it. I studied Roman history, bitch. Don't fuck with me. Anyway, and I came out there with my group called Rome and shit. It was me. It was me, King Ronald, who they later on would go mistaken called King Rhino.
Why do you need a king if you have a Caesar?
I don't fucking know. Why the fuck is there an Emperor of Hardcore? I came out there in an ECW hat and an ECW t-shirt like Tommy Dreamer and taped my fist, and I was like this hardcore wrestler. I got put through glass. All this is Lionel, by the way. It's not even a different opponent fucking me up. It was like I won like 5 matches, and it was like, guess who gets to be Crash Test Dummy today? And it was like me. So that was interesting. When Lionel went pro, it was like, oh fuck, I still like wrestling, and I'm out of high school and I have no direction in my life because I thought I'd have been killed in Woodlawn by now. I ran my fucking mouth a lot. I suplex niggas in the hallway. So I get this. I'm at CCBC for this job fair, and we're talking wrestling with these motherfucking amateurs. They don't know shit, but I'm talking wrestling with them anyway. This black dude says, "Hey man, there's some white guy outside of Target, and he gave me the info for this backyard wrestling place. If you really want to wrestle, I think he's interested." So I was like, all right, man. I was like, who the fuck is Craven and shit?
Did he also have heroin?
So it was the shadiest shit I'd ever heard. Like, all love to Chris Craven, but yo, you outside of a Target hustling backyard wrestling. Dedication. That's dedication. Like, I ain't never heard of a drug dealer backyard wrestling, nigga. Hey, yo, I got that steel chair for that nigga, yo. I got that steel chair. You need that ladder, yo? I got that for you. So I called him. He was at the hospital with his wife and shit, his mother, and I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. This man called me back like 4 hours later. I felt very fucking proud of myself. He was like, yeah, man, we got Booker, we got shows and shit. And when I went to Booker online, he had like red and yellow on and shit like that, looking like motherfucking Ronald McDonald. I was very confused, and I ain't see no black faces, was scared the shit out of me because I never wrestled with white people before. Like, y'all gotta understand, like, only videos I seen of white people, y'all niggas jumping off of houses and shit, and I ain't about that motherfucker. Like, y'all niggas is crazy.
These are hardcore.
Hey, shut the fuck up. So, I was looking to change my wrestling style because, you know, hardcore matches were fucking stupid to me now. Because once I bought the Chris Benoit DVD, I was like, what the fuck have I been doing with my life? That was like around the first time I wrestled Ray Black, my cousin, and like the match was like no hardcore match. That was the first for me. It's like, what? I'm not being booked in a hardcore match. So we had to actually wrestle. And during that match, I kind of learned that I could wrestle, which was fucking great for me. So when I came to UCW or MUW, I rolled with all my niggas. We came deep and shit like that. We wanted to see what it was about and shit like that. Yeah. I brought my man David, my manager and shit. I niggas, hey man, I should work with you. And I'm like, all right, nigga. But you is Mike Tyson, nigga. Shut up. I know you bit some ear off. I know there's some beaten woman around you.
It's just a misunderstanding.
So to his credit, he played the shit out of my manager and shit like that. Like, I'm in the middle of a match and you better win! You better win! I'm gonna make you run laps, boy! I was like, alright, nigga, hold on. Jordan, like, I'm wrestling Jordan and Stephen Blanchard. He's like, what's the next move? I said, hold on, nigga. That nigga just said, I said, yo, suplex me real quick, nigga. That nigga just said some dumb shit, yo. Like, yo, no, like, which would be a tradition I carry on. Like, I still fuck with people. Well, I don't still kind of wrestle, but when I was wrestling, I would fuck with people in the ring. Like, I would have, like, Ray Black and, like, a submission hold. I would spin his ear, yo, I would die for you, yo. This nigga, he would go to punch me in the mouth. This is what sounds like a dust trap. I'm like, oh my god, yo. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, and I'm on the ground selling. I'm on the ground selling like I'm coughing, but I'm laughing my ass off and shit like that. And then he always looks so fucking serious when he says I would die for you and shit like that. I would die for you. I'm like, stop, fuck. So like those became the most interesting. I fucked with Damien. Oh my god, I fucked with that nigga. Like, oh my god, like. I had his ass in a submission during one match. I was like, yo, don't work around me. Don't hit me with a German, bitch. That shit seemed gay to me, nigga. don't do that, Damien, nigga. It ain't pride week, nigga. So, he had me in one submission. I was selling, and I went in his ear. I said, I fucked with that nigga, and I enjoyed it. Like, so that was one of the highlights of wrestling. Like, oh, niggas is serious, all serious in the middle of the ring. How about I lock up with you? Like, all right, nigga, I'm up tipping your butt cheeks. Niggas be like, I throw niggas off. I think David kicked me in the face one time because I had said something. I had told him to move, and then I had said a joke. He didn't hear what I said, and he just said, yeah! In the most David manner you can imagine and shit. That is the sound. He's like, yeah! And then like I'm outside the fucking ring sneezing and shit. Like, oh, damn, David! Ronald crawled out like, you okay? He said, oh fine, yo, get the fuck away from me, shit. David kicks the shit out of people. That nigga, yo, his shoe size is God. So, I came to MUW and I really fucking had a good time. I met the booker, really fucking tall. I met the guy who owned the show, really short, and it was interesting because none of them were assholes, which I appreciated, man. Then I saw before I saw any wrestling that fucking impressed me, I saw fucking Money Matt Masterson. And I was like, oh my god, somebody in the yard has a character. He comes out in a yellow shirt and he's fucking flopping on the ground and like, this ain't a fucking like a thick ass man, it's skinny as shit. He's going, yeah, and just drops on the ground and shit. I was like, oh my god, I gotta turn this shit up. Oh, these niggas. I was like, oh, these niggas is real. I was like, shit, all I got is wrestling and black skin. I stole the shit out of my gimmick from MVP. I love my father. Like, because he knew about my wrestling before my mother did. And I went up to him and I was like, hey man, I know this Under Armour is $66, but I need you to buy it for me. And like, I had looked my grown ass father, who fucking hates wrestling, in the face. He was like, what the fuck do you need this Under Armour for? I want to look like MVP when I go out there and wrestle. And he just looked at me. and gave me $100. I love that man. It's just like that nigga ain't questioned it. I mean, he now questions does he love me. At the moment, there was no fucking questions. It was like, okay, my son wants to look like whoever the fuck that is, because my father don't know what the fuck MVP is. Like, well, he knows I was on some Power Ranger fantasy shit, which most people call me. Which reminds me, one of my earliest matches, because it was cold outside, because this nigga Craven had us wrestling outside. And I said it, and my legs was ashy as a bitch, because I'm dark skinned. And then certain motherfucker behind camera was being sarcastic as shit, and he was like, "Yeah, I like them legs on Jacob Practice. Those are real nice legs. I wish I had legs like that." I'm looking at him during the match like, "Yo, I know they ain't lotion, but that shit ain't even funny to me. God damn, I'm dry as Kuta Kinte right now. I don't need nobody to make a joke and shit." And he would continue doing this. Like I remember one match specifically because there's a hole in my singlet. I wrestled with holes in my singlet. This nigga's in the middle of the match because I was showing my girl. This nigga zoomed in on my ass. Like, look at that hole and Jacob Practice's butt. And I'm like, oh fuck. Oh yeah, let me get closer to that butthole. I like it there. I'm like, fuck, stop doing this, you sick bitch. He's the reason our shit can't go on MySpace. Talking about we wrestling, he talking about fucking children, which I still think like the coolest thing ever. Like the fact that I'm watching a match and I'm hearing about a molestation and shit. Like it's a good match. It's not better than children fighting in my closet, but it's like and he would be then joined by a whole cast of family characters. My favorite, the sisters, when they commentate, get the fuck away from the camera. It was the saddest shit I've ever seen. So MUW was fucking beautiful to me. I had a great fucking time there. I loved it. It showed me why I wanted to wrestle. I had my family with me. Soon my cousin came in. My nigga Devin came in. And David would be wrestling soon. Ronald. Everybody was fucking happy. Then all of a sudden fucking no MUW. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I went with Chris Craven. That nigga came to my job. Like the week the whole split up happened, Chris Craven came to my job. I was like, yo, this is the most thorough shit I ever seen. This nigga drove to where I work at. I didn't know, because they told me, Jacob, some white person came to see you. I was like, who the white person? They said, we don't know. So I grabbed Ray. I said, yo, some white person here to see me. This nigga Ray grabbed the motherfucking box cut and shit like that. I was like, niggas is ready, yo. He said, yo, cops looking for you? I said, nah, nigga, whoever it is, get mobbed. He standing outside smoking a cigarette. I was like, what the fuck is Chris Craven? I was like, damn, man, I thought you was the cops. He was like, nah, man, I work down the street. I'm like, oh shit, you know, white towns are small. So he asked me to come with him, and I came. I came without a doubt because like Chris Craven, like he got me to fuck back into wrestling, which I appreciate, and he didn't book me like shit, and you know he treated me fairly. He treated me fairly, but when I left for BEWA, like my friends, like Ronald and people weren't happy, and I took them to MUW. And that was my decision, because I loved MUW, like, fucking great. First time I saw Josh Dreamer, I was like, oh my god, that nigga can flip. And it's different and shit like that, you know. Yeah. And you know, I loved MUW. But like, my friends wanted BEWA, so I wanted BEWA. And when I went to BEWA, oh my fucking god, like, this is fucking crazy. Like, I saw this Reaper and Dreamer match, and I was like, oh my god, I can't leave here. I can't leave here. And then we would make our debut, and I would wrestle Spider. He had been trying to contact me for 2 weeks, and he was like, "Hey man, like I want to send you and plan a match." I said, "No, we're just gonna do it on the fly." He just looked at me. "We're just gonna call it." I said, "Yeah, we're just gonna fucking call it, man." This was before I was in planning matches. That's the Robbie Wayne chapter. So we called and we fucked with it. That day we jumped hella people. We jumped people to the point where it pissed Chris Palmer off. I was mad at myself. Like I'm my bad franchise. That was my Nike sign. It's been years. Me and Tom is cool now, yo. It ain't serious no more. Watch. I'm gonna see that nigga on the street. He gonna be like, I saw that video, you motherfucker. Thomas.
Golden rights one.
Thomas will still punch me in the fucking mouth. Like, you don't know. I know that nigga. Yo, we fucking crazy.
Punches.
So here I am. And then like. You know, shit started to get weird for me in the yard scene because it's just like, first I get there, my brother wins the Intercontinental title, we take over and shit, hit him, DT coming soon, we all got gears, nigga DT came out with some long ass socks. I was like, I'm a dumb nigga right now, and I'll tell you that why. Cause I looked DT Gray in his face, DT Gray, and I told him, yo, long socks is never gonna fucking work as a look for you, you need to quit that shit. Now, you know, I guess I don't have long vision, but like, the socks at the time was fucking ridiculous because we was all rocking Under Armour. He comes out there with an Oreo fucking jersey on.
He had a gi on.
And
Bruce Leroy jacket.
And, oh my god, I love that. He had the glow when he wore that shit. So once I retired my brother and took the Intercontinental title, which is a big landmark for me, because like championships was never important to me, but like that worker title was the shit to me, because you know I'm a Shawn Michaels fucking mark and Mr. Perfect mark, nigga. Mr. Perfect way better than Bret Hart, fuck everybody. Anyway, I squeezed that in, nigga.
That's some true shit right there.
Squeeze that in, nigga. And the sharpshooter, Scorpion Deathlock, same move. When you look in the
Whoa,
mirror,
whoa,
nigga.
whoa, whoa!
Yeah, nigga.
Two different moves.
Same move in the mirror, nigga. Anyway, whoa.
Fuck you.
I got soldiers in the crowd. Watch what you say about Kurt Angle. So, yeah, that was fucking crazy, because it's just like I finally made it to a yard company I'm happy with. My brother wanted to go pro, but I respected that. And he allowed me to retire, which I also respected and shit like that. So I did, and it was cool. I cried. And like Kelly fucking Star, like, oh my god. She came up to me while I'm crying, and she had to be the most. Like, look, I'm not trying to diss her, but she had to be emotional with me. She was like, oh, you're crying? I said, no, bitch. I said, these are tears of the smell of Dundalk and shit like that. Because the bitch forgot I was still taking practice. I'm like, no, shorty, no, I ain't fucking crying, nigga. So Black Power. Anyway, I saw a lot of shit in BEWA that I fucking loved over there. I'm gonna highlight some moments. First time I wrestled Sentence to Death, and oh my god, this nigga came out. He ran on the 8. This is when XMW started. Thank you, Darren. And he comes out, he jumps on the apron, his title drops off and shit like that. And like some old racist bitch in the crowd is saying, kill him, kill the darkie. I'm like, yo, we both dark skinned and shit like that. So I was like, she must be talking about me, because I blatantly said fuck Whitey before the match started. And that was probably one of the most fun matches I've worked in, shit like that. That nigga hit me with a frog splash from ridiculous distance. He locked me in the stupidest submission ever. And whoever the fuck the referee was that day had no idea what he was doing. And he didn't count me. No, it wasn't Tommy Gunn. I would say something, nigga. Tommy, I'm gonna leave you alone tonight. So this nigga got my legs crossed and shit. And you know how I'm holding the rope. You know how the referee's supposed to count. He go like this. What's that, Rob? I'm in like genuine fucking pain. This nigga like, I'm about to hit you with enough submission. I was like, get the fuck off. Get the fuck off me, man. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with some of you wrestling niggas, yo. Like, if you've heard some of the shit that some of you people in this room have said to me and shit like that, like somebody in this room was like, yeah, you're probably gonna get suplexed into a ladder tonight. And I was like, okay. Another motherfucker in this room said, yo, I'm gonna choke you out. And like not even joke wise, I'm just gonna really do it. I'm just like, you're my student. That's real fucked up. Another motherfucker in this room, he was one of the last matches I got to work. And I'm glad I finally got to work with Slinky motherfucker. I suplexed his overselling ass. I ain't gonna say no names. I'm just gonna say initials X and C. I suplexed this. And this is probably one of my favorite memories of wrestling, and I'm glad it came near the end. I suplexed a nigga T-Bone, and I go to turn around, hit him. This nigga's gone. Oh my god! In that split second, I tell you, I've never been so fucking scared in my fucking life. I was like, yo, what the fuck? He's on the other side of the ring. I'm like, that's the first time I ever seen some shit like that. I'm like, yo, how the fuck did he do that? I was like, yo, I'm getting too old for this shit, yo. Niggas disappeared in the ring. I thought that nigga got taken in the rap shit and shit like that. I'm like, damn, nigga, I got left behind, yo. Oh, shit. I'm one of them niggas. So, some of my greatest matches, though, I got to work with Ray Black a lot. Because we always used to joke about doing a Series 7. And then through our yard careers, we kind of ended up doing a Series fucking 7, which was really fucking great. And, like, the matches kept getting turned up every time. And that nigga loved punching me, man. Like, like, we used to make this joke in BWA about niggas who like to start matches with DDTs. Derek told me. And this nigga, Ray Black, he started a match with a punch to the eye and shit. I was standing there, I was like, yeah, so who won it? He could have booted me, clothes on. He said, nigga, I rolled out the ring. They was like, yo, good sell. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean sell? Niggas just knocked my fucking eye out, yo. Like, my tight ass singlet was running up and shit like that. I was like, oh my god, yo. And like everybody's like, oh, hey, take him to a rest spot. No, that wasn't a fucking rest spot, nigga. I was bruised. I'm a dark skin nigga. You can't see the black eyes, but they there, yo. And this happened like every time I wrestled Ray Black from age like 19 to 24, yo. This nigga just had a punch for me and shit like that. He was like, nah, I can't pop a nigga this show, yo. I'm saving it for Jacob. It's like, what? Specific scene I want you to look at after this. Triple threat match. Me, him, and Sam Masters. This nigga grabbed me, said, "Welcome back, practice." Punched the fuck out of me. I was like, "This is the reason I retired in the first place." Like, oh my god! And I needed to retire that first time because like at the time I was wrestling in BEWA and XMW and the Virginia boys anti-Robbie Wayne. Them motherfuckers was giving me matches that was so turned up and I loved it. But it was stressful and it was fucking destroying my body. My body is fucked now. Like I wake up in the morning like an old man and it confuses the shit out of my girlfriend. Like, you know how fucked up it is to be a 25-year-old black kid with a 20-year-old girlfriend. Be like, I want to have sex. I'm like, bitch, my knees hurt. My fucking shoulder is in pain. I be complaining. She like, I don't want to make you do nothing you don't want to do. I'm like, I don't want to do nothing I don't want to fucking do. Fuck. But like, yo, like I swear to God, as soon as she chokes me, oh my God, sex is immaculate. I don't know. You wrestling niggas done fucked me up. Y'all done turned submissions into some other shit. Like, man, I better hope I don't come back to wrestling. Next nigga lock me in submission. I'm gonna go, oh shit, man. Oh shit, I'm about to tap niggas.
Go ahead, Devin.
So,
I'll tap out with my balls.
Oh, see that nigga just did it again. And that time XMW, I met a lot of young niggas. I met this nigga named Kill Switch. And he was a young cat. He came in a singlet and shit like that. I'm like, yo, he took that from his fucking high school, yo. I'm sure they ain't get that to you. Yo, robbed his fucking high school lock. I'm like, yo, you supposed to get that back. I know that's a fine, nigga. And he's in the ring. And he's running ropes and with Jinx and shit. And Jinx is like, I'm gonna show him the ropes. I said, no, nigga. No. I said, no, nigga, I'm gonna show him the ropes and shit, like, literally. And I was like, damn, yo, you mat wrestle, yo? Well, I don't see you doing nothing in the ring, yo. You just high fly. Well, I don't know. Should I do that shit? I say, duh, nigga. The fuck? You can lock a nigga into submission, and shit. Probably the best advice I've ever given. Because, you know, the National Negro lock a nigga into submission fund. That's something I find important and shit like that. That could have kept Rodney King, you know, safe. So, like, when I met DJ Carter for the first time, like he was in high school. Ronald Scott introduced me. Like the first time I told, okay, let's have an exhibition match, this nigga just jumped on me and started punching and shit. I was like, God damn. I was like, okay, you're a brawler. This nigga came to me 2 days later. I want to be a technical wrestler. Fuck you, have to say that. I'm like, now your training gonna take like 3 years. He sat through that shit too. This nigga took some hell. Like he had David come by, and David is rough. David's
Kendall.
David's my man's. But he does everything rough. Like, you ever seen this nigga put lotion on in the morning? Like, this nigga
hear about his love life.
And he'll be...
Damn.
This nigga be having a college casual conversation, and don't ask no gay shit like, why the fuck was you in this house? I use lotion. That's my man's, bitch. Anyway, so he's having a casual intellectual conversation because he's a smart motherfucker. He's just like, oh yeah, Jacob, you know, back in the Nazi party and shit. I was like, God damn, nigga, your skin ain't going nowhere. Yo, what the fuck is you doing? The ash is gone, yo. Like, yo, this the only nigga. But he make cake though. Like, he make ginger cake. I had to mention that. This nigga is like rough, aggressive.
Starts at 4 hours.
You can't even say the chloroform.
It goes home, makes you some ginger cake. He like, yo, Jake. Why don't you come in and try some of my cake? You know? That shit sound creepy, but you go in there and
I got some cake.
To come and hit this one person, but Ronald fucking Scott. It's like a fucking little brother to me. First time I met this nigga, we weren't wrestling, we were playing football. And he couldn't tackle me because I was fat. And he weighed like 90 pounds. And he kept running into me and like bouncing off. It was the most embarrassing shit ever. And I told that nigga, he's like, I'm gonna tackle you one day. I'm like, okay, you're really gay for this. But then like he expressed to me like when we was in school, because we went to the same school and shit like that, and he started talking about wrestling. I told him about backyard wrestling, and ever since then he was down with training. I trained him when the super kicks were getting from to here to when he was knocking me out the fucking ring and kicking my teeth out my mouth. These last two, Roland Havoc and Sam Masters. Oh my fucking god. These niggas made my career. Like, I went like damn near all season. I went all season 1 without a single match, without one single match against Roland Havoc, and that was fucking crazy. That was crazy, and I fucking loved Chris Ballmer for it. I was like, oh my god, you son of a bitch, you won't let us wrestle. And then my first fucking World Heavyweight title defense in season 2 was against him. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck I even win the title for? I saw the year before when that shit touched HIV and bounced off him and shit. It was like boom, and shit like this. So I was like, I know they ain't gonna keep let this nigga keep it. Like, who fuck am I? So and I got to wrestle him for the first time, and like HIV could not help but tell me like in paragraph form. How amazing Roland Havoc is. Hey, man, like, Matt is not gonna fucking hurt you, man. He looks rough, but he's taking care of people, man. He's a good fucking wrestler. And and I believed him because Matt's a great fucking guy. And I wrestled him and shit. Like, man, it was so smooth and the match went so well and shit. That nigga threw me into a pile of. Why the fuck was there a pile of fucking like 2x4s? You remember that? Where the guardrail should be, there was a pile of 2x4s and shit. And I was like, fuck it, man, throw me in a pile of 2x4s. And you know what his response was? All right, man, anything you're down for. I'm like, later on in a hardcore match we would have, like, I told him, yeah, yo, like, throw me into the wall. And I think Jason G was reffing that match. And he, like, back body dropped me into the wall. And the wall spot was fine. And I came down with some fucking, like, pieces of fucking gate or steel cage and shit. And I'm on the ground like, oh my fucking god, yo, what the fuck? And Jason G came over there like, you alright? I said, no. So in the most Matt way possible, he's saying the nicest things to me, but on camera he's picking me up so aggressive. He's like, come on, you alright, man? You alright? He's just tossing me to the fucking stairs. I'm like, thank you for your encouragement, Dad. But no, I loved my matches with him. They were amazing, and I was appreciative to have them. And it's a thing about being a good wrestler, and then there's having the right opponent. When I first wrestled Sam Masters, it was okay, but we knew where we were, and we knew what our mission was. And we were constantly trying to outdo each other. And then when we got to work that Iron Man match, like I trained for I trained for like whole 2 weeks. Like BWA kept me in shape. Like I was running and push-ups and increments of training. And after the match, like Sam Masters, like, and this is the first, last, and only time I ever saw it, was tired, like sitting there, and I was in the back like good after 30 minutes. And then the next year, Damnation 2, oh my god. Oh man. We worked the 3 stages of hell, which I'm still injured from that motherfucking match. Like, and like I called most of the spots, and that nigga was down for everything. I said, yo, you mind getting suplexed into a wall? No. I was like, oh, all right, shit, long we on the same page, man. Right? That nigga took some shit in that match, yo. Like, I look back at it, like, I got suplexed on a ladder and German on the floor. That motherfucker took a motherfucking ladder to the face. I was like, god damn. And it was like, that's probably the scariest moment of wrestling, when you look down at a man, he's coughing up blood and shit like that, and you go, fuck it, I'm gonna suplex you. He was like, it was like that movie shit. He was like, it was like that scene when your partner dies and shit like that. Like that should have happened in Lethal Weapon 2. He went. I was like, oh shit! Come on, Greg, let's work this move. I didn't want to admit that I was murdering him, but that nigga, over the years, he became more of a dick, not as a human being. Not as a human being, but as a wrestler. Like, we had this whole thing. He didn't like getting chopped in the back, and I would purposely chop that nigga in the back. Until one match, I chopped him in the back. And then I'm in the middle of a submission. He just came by and chopped me in the stomach. And like, I remember this so vividly. I looked at DJ Carter in the crowd, because we was just making jokes. I'm like, well, what type, because we saw Samoa Joe do that shit. I'm like, yo, what type of clown ass nigga chopped me in the fucking stomach? That shit dirty. As soon as it fucking happened, I looked at this nigga in the crowd like, yo! And he's in the crowd dying laughing. I'm like, yo, I was just talking about niggas who chopped niggas in the stomach, yo. That shit real disrespectful, yo. That shit hurts. I got a gut, nigga. This ain't muscle. Oh my, you saw my shit jiggle in my shirt, my singlet, shit. I was like, oh shit. After I did that shit, Kill Switch ignorant ass like, I'm gonna hit you with a drop kick. I said, no, bitch. Who the fuck, nigga? Then Ring Black, you can't tell Ring though. It's like Ring. That big nigga. This big ass nigga came and grabbed me and was like, I'm hitting you with the Sheamus kick. I'm like, all right, nigga, goddamn. And then I got back in the corner, come out and just meet a boot and shit, which is a big ass shoe. Then the certain matches he'll be like, yo, why you move to the side? Let me kick your shoulder. I said, bitch, because I didn't want my teeth to get knocked out today. You know how you punched me to start the match, nigga. Do I gotta get kicked too, nigga? So, but no, like, and like every time I worked with Sam Masters, I felt like we were evolving, and I felt like I was transcending what I was doing, which is what this shit is about. You know, we're not fucking, you know, humans in there and shit like that. I'm not fucking Jacob Mayberg. I become ignorant Muslim. Thank you, Carlos Muhammad, for inspiring this character.
Shit.
I become Jacob Rakim Allah Shabazz Practice, but now since he's taking his journey to Mecca, Jacob Rakim Allah Muhammad Malik Ahmud Abdul Shabazz Practice. Like, that shit is beautiful. We manipulate fucking people. Like, I remember when I told like Jason G's like roommate that she was the Wicked Witch and shit like that. That was the last show she came to, and I'm proud of that shit. I'm like, I made this dude don't even know me, hate me so much that you don't want to look at me wrestle. And I'm good. And it's like, we fucking do this. Like, I see Roland Haddock come out there, or I see Matt Masterson in any fucking character he does. Or my favorite, Jim Cornell. Practice! Like, my grandmother loves that shit. She's like, why are you so black power but I got a white man working for you? I'm like, that's the idea, grandma. The white man works for me now, nigga. I run shit. And like I would be in the middle of taunting people. He comes up from behind me, lifts me up, and like holds me. Yeah, Jacob's talking it. You listen. I'm like, yeah, nigga, listen to my nigga here. And Robbie Wayne's up there going, oh my god, I gotta explain this movie. So I'm in a triple threat match between Robbie Wayne and Rob Scott, and we come up with this stupid fucking spot. You know, Robbie Wayne used to jump, this disrespectful ass nigga used to jump over people, VA, and slap the shit out of him. So he was setting up to get to me, and Rob Scott stops him when he jumps over. He goes VA, and Rob Scott walks up and slaps Robbie Wayne and was like, no. And I jumped up and slapped Rob Scott and was like, Africa. And I was like, and like, there's a moment where I paused in the middle of a match. I swear to God, I've never done this before, but I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, oh my god. Which leads, like, Anti was that motherfucker. That nigga, he gave me matches that let me build character. It was this bald white guy named Anti, and he got so racist in the ring and shit. Black power, white power, black power. It was the dumbest spots ever, but I fucking loved them. And I'm really thankful that I worked those matches. We're fucking gods, man. Like,
He said,
I didn't sign people's fucking autographs. Like, what the fuck? The day that what's his name, El Kabong the shit out of Jace. What the fuck was his name? Juggling while he was fixing his fucking belt. Anyway, some fucking kid picked up a piece of the guitar and was like, "Could you sign this for me?" I said, "Yes, because you're black." And I signed it for him and shit like that. And then this white kid was like, "Can you sign this guitar for me?" I said, "Yes, because you need it, because you're poor and white." And then I signed it, and shit, that shit made me feel fucking amazing. And you know, the marks that we are, like, yo, I would see Riku walking around East Point with the title and shit. Yeah, I'm a champion. I said, "Yes, you are, Riku. Yes, you are."
That didn't happen.
Like, this shit meant so much to me. Like, this shit is fucking I still, like, students of mine don't believe him when I used to wrestle. I'm like, yo, throw a move, throw something. And I lock them niggas in submissions till they shit themselves. And I fucking love being that guy who used to wrestle. And everything BWA gave me. Cause like, honest to God, I don't fucking know Chris Bomber. I never met him before BWA. He's no fucking friend of mine. But like, he took me in, and then when I was in college and starving and shit like that, I'd come to the bar to hang out because I had no fucking life, no girlfriend, no nothing. And he would sit beside me like, "What you eat tonight? Here, man, get him some dinner." Like that. I don't know how much people know how appreciative that shit is that another human being will fucking buy you something to eat when they don't fucking have to. And I appreciated that. You know, because BEWA, we're like, it's a fucking family of niggas I don't even know. Cause I ain't never talked to this much white people in my life. Ever. And never will again. But,
hey. Probably for the best.
Hey, blame Alric. He had a lot of racist jokes. I was like, I'm fucking with you, Gene. I love you.
Liar. Oh, fucking liar.
But no, like, it's been a real embracing experience, and I was happy to perform and wrestle for everybody, and to conclude this whole fucking speech show and stand-up comedy night. I'm thankful to all of you. I had a list of niggas, and then I threw the list of niggas away, and had a list of white people, and then I threw that shit away because I didn't want to suck Master's dick. So, like, I decided to like just thank everybody because like y'all all made this experience amazing for me. I never enjoyed myself more. I never felt better. Like this shit saved my life. Like I wanted to die. I didn't want to live. I felt like I was living for nothing. And wrestling saved my fucking life. And I hope it saves yours and anyone we continue to train. Because if you're not getting safe from this shit, what the fuck are we doing this for? Like we're all fucking marks. We all want to be The Rock. We all want to be Stone Cold. And for a moment there, I got to be Kurt Angle. I got to be fucking Kurt Angle. I got to be Shawn Michaels. I got to be Taz. And I couldn't have done all that shit without Chris Craven, Chris Farmer, and the BEWA roster. So thank y'all.
Hey man, he's got
Back on.
he's got a hole in his pants there. He's got a hole in his butt there.
Go home, man.
This concludes the Hall of Fame ceremony. Feel free to roast everybody there.
Yeah!